Welcome to UniSC Stadium and welcome to a very nervous crowd here. Packed house, and they are taking on the West Coast Fever, who have been all but unbeatable over the past 7 weeks. And I say all but unbeatable because they let it slip in the last minute of the last game against the Thunderbirds, and they are not happy at all. My name is Will McCoy, and alongside me here in the commentary position is Kira Tromp, Sharon Finnan-White running the sidelines, and the Fever looking as relaxed as they always do.
Absolutely, Will. I think the whole competition breathed a huge sigh of relief seeing the Adelaide Thunderbirds knock off the West Coast Fever at home at RAC Arena last Sunday afternoon. It's really shown the competition that they can be beaten, because I think for a while there a lot were wondering whether and who was going to be able to do it.
Well, they can be beaten, but they have to be beaten by a team that is absolutely on point throughout, hangs in there when the going gets tough, and can also rip out 3 or 4 super shots in about 3 minutes. That's always helpful.
You need an Ellie Cardwell in that situation. She was clutch to finish off there, as we see the West Coast Fever start with their lineup there of Janelle Fowler, Glasgow, Neal, Simmons, Ansis, Arian, Bruce. For mine, we may see a change through the midcourt if it looks to be defensive, with Jess Ansis particularly moving into that centre position.
Yeah, the Woolworths team card up there, full of stars for the Fever. We didn't even see Kim Jenner get a start last week, which is interesting. We will see whether we see her out on court. And here's the Woolworths team card for the Lightning. It is as you would expect it to be, because we've talked a lot in the pre-show about the Conan and Wood combination. We've talked about the Pretorius-Dehaney combination, but between them is Annie Miller, Laura Sherian, who I think notches up her 100th game for the Lightning today, and of course Mahalia Cassidy, all three incredible players. And it's Miller for me who has really stepped up her game week on week, all about the confidence and getting that start in this bib. She has been immense.
Yeah, she's absolutely been a saving grace for the Lightning, having that wing attack, taking so many of the centre passes.
Verity Simmons, one of the most experienced campaigners out there to start us off. Fever with the ball and wasting no time, straight into Fowler. Feeling that Dehaney and Pretorius need a couple of early wins. We talked in the pre-show to Belinda Reynolds, and she knows about that fast start. The Lightning haven't always been great at that, and the Fever can punish you really quickly.
Absolutely. I found it interesting, Belinda saying that she just wants to be in touch. So already kind of giving up the fact that they know the Fever are going to come out strong, having come off a loss, but the ability for their team to be able to stay close on the scoreboard.
So Wood didn't like that position. Off the split, Conan gets a good spot, and plenty of ball movement required, but it was short and sharp from the Lightning, and they get on the scoreboard as well. 1-1 here, 1 minute down.
Really strong take there by Cara Conan. She had the arm of Bruce wrapped around her waist and was still able to pull it in.
You can hear the chant, "Let's go Lightning," around UniSC Stadium, and that's another reason why they need to stay in touch, because sometimes in this arena, it's a small one, and as Dehaney goes up, gets the front spot, but can't make it stick. If they lose touch, the crowd goes quiet, and here the crowd is like an extra player.
It is. It's that 8th player, Will. They've got the ability to be able to lift their team, but they're very netball savvy. They know when to call defence and attack. They know how to get their players up, and they're very involved and invested in this team on the Sunshine Coast.
Wood heading across the transverse line. Conan out, immediately gets the deep space. They go through Miller first.
Just struggling there in the centre phase, the Lightning. They weren't able to find Cara Conan first. They had to play it back to Kyla Pretorius.
Nice little settler there for Wood. Always nice to hit one from range early on. High goes to Dehaney. Incredible leap on the Jamaican. And speaking of Jamaicans, no mistake. Now 57 goals shy of the 5,000 goal mark. Janelle Fowler.
We'll be keeping a track of that all game, Will.
You're the stats queen, apparently, so you'll be keeping track of it.
The pressure's on from Sharon.
Miller, again, Conan comes out. We see that more and more from her, providing that option a little bit further up the court this season.
Absolutely, and it opens up the space back at the post for Steph to get that lovely position. Nice touch there from Sunday Arian, just got her hand around.
We talked to Dan Ryan about why he has chosen to go with the Bruce and Arian combination. Do you think, now that he's not listing, that is the correct call?
Correct. I think Sunday matches up beautifully on Steph. She is a real hustler in defence and sticks so tight one-on-one. And I think Steph's involvement in the game evolves as the game goes on. She needs someone who's going to wear her like second skin.
almost not enough time there for the champ to get going, so quickly did the ball head down court. Into the hands of Fowler. Again, Conan out. Bruce doing her best to shadow her.
As we see a close contest there, but no penalty given away. That's what's so strong about Sunday. She's able to get back and contest, recover and contest, recover and contest. It gets her coach Dan Ryan out of his seat, giving her a big clap for that.
Yeah, the space evaporates pretty quickly when Sunday Ariang is around.
You see on the Harvey Norman replay, she's just inches away from pulling in that ball, just not able to get it off Cara Conan.
Glasgow chips in with her first.
As you see, Cara Conan out of that circle again. It's up to now Courtney Bruce to try and hold her out. That's the reason that she's out there, and then to try and stop her from getting back in.
Certainly in the contest in the early going. Only 4 minutes gone, and already 10 goals. Fast and frenetic pace, but also very well controlled. And speaking of very well controlled, Sharon Finney-White is running the sidelines for us. And Sharon, you're watching this battle between Fowler and Dehaney.
Yeah, I'm just loving what Dehaney's doing. Anytime Fowler comes anywhere near that super shot zone, she's getting right up behind her and protecting that space behind. We know how deadly Fowler is at the post, so Katie Ann's bodying up on her and really pushing her out towards the goal circle.
And Sharon, 5 gone, 6 apiece. Both teams working really hard.
Great defensive effort here from the Lightning, going one-on-one, shutting down all the options and forcing the turnover.
The first little win. And you feel like if the Lightning are going to win this one, they need to hand the Fever sort of like a death by 1,000 cuts, just little wins, little wins, little wins. And the first one of the game goes the Lightning's way. Although Ariang's threatening to take that back.
It's all about those conversions off your game ball, Will, and the thing the Lightning have been doing so well this year has been able to convert their games and that putting that scoreboard pressure on and then following up with their own centre pass.
Pretty disappointed you don't have a stat to back that up.
Well, this is the first one we've seen this game, so we're currently just waiting to see if they're going to be sitting at 100%.
So they're at 100% right now. Okay, thank you so much.
Lovely
play. So you've been reading the same thesaurus as I have. Both think it's lovely. (7-6). Nearing the midway point of the opening quarter, and the Lightning showing no signs of fatigue off the short turnaround, and equally the Fever, who are on their 3rd long haul in 4 weeks, came here to play as well. Collective groan from the 3,000 odd here. Wanted that one. Would have given the home side a 2-goal buffer, which is absolute gold against the West Coast.
Ball speed from the Fever here is just moving down court with such ease.
Glasgow, another one to support. Picked up 8 from 9 last week. 10 assists, 12 feeds, working around Janelle Fowler. Was known as I guess a kind of an impact player for a while back at the T-Birds, but she certainly cemented her place in this starting lineup. Fowler supremely unruffled at all times. Cassidy, Wood lets it go.
Just being held up here by the Fever. Good defensive effort in the box. Just pushing the Lightning wide. They're having to go back through Miller. But being very patient with the ball make Coach Belinda Reynolds pretty happy.
It's funny, usually if it's all going well as they slowly make their way down the court, you say they're being pretty patient with the ball. But if they cough it up, then suddenly they've been held up far too much by the great defensive pressure of the Fever. So as long as you're efficient with it, it's all good.
It's all about executing Will under pressure, and they were able to do it in that one. Good challenge there by Annie Miller. These are all the little things that you're looking for your defensive players to be able to step up.
Instruction keeper. Bandage goal. Lightning.
Great challenge there from Courtney Bruce. She's been looking there for the contact call. Was Cara Conan, but it wasn't coming. It's a throw in there to the Fever. So a win for them.
9-8. We're already nearing the Power 5. And both these sides capable of the super shot, as all sides are these days, having had a couple of seasons to work it into their repertoire.
With the goal defence. Goalkeeper, wrap it around, obstruction. Just the goalkeeper.
So starting to attract a fair bit of whistle down this end of the court. The Sunshine Coast Lightning currently sitting on 8 penalties. But just it's not the penalties, the release of the pressure and the extra shot that gives the Fever the confidence.
Now it's the Fever who take the first 2-goal lead of this game, and they take the centre pass as well. So a chance as we move into the business end of the opening quarter to take a little break on the home side. Charles, they're being patient too, and off the split, Fowler will shoot from longer than she's used to. Just eases it in. And that's 11-8.
Just caught chasing on that down-court play there, the Lightning. A couple of mistakes just creeping in here off the centre pass.
Look to let that one go quickly, and that could be costly. By the time they get down into the forward third, the super shot will be in effect.
As we see a change, Shannon Eglin, an ex-Fever player, stepped on court as at goal defence. Seeing Carly Pretorius go to the bench. Is there something that Belinda Reynolds knows about Sasha Glasgow's game and Shannon Eglin that matches up well?
Have to be if you're going to take Carly Pretorius off the court.
Absolutely.
And we're about to go to 5 goals for the Fever, and just as we say that it's tit for tat, well, there's a lot more tat at the moment, I suppose. The Fever having a nice little run.
These two teams call top 2 in the timeout calls, and we see a great touch there from Courtney Bruce. We wonder whether Belinda Reynolds will be calling a timeout just to readdress the game plan with the troops.
Really important possession, this one, to stop the rot. And it's Wood from mid-range. And here's the Harvey Norman replay. Bruce doing what she does. 8 deflections last week, continues on her merry way this week. Let's go, Simmons.
Shannon Eglin just doing a great job, just keeping Sasha Glasgow high in the circle, but also not letting her in. We know how strong and accurate she is during super shot, but choosing just to go for the one there, the easy feed to Janelle, alone under the post.
Lightning need an injection from a Dehaney, something to light them up again. Conan having quite a time there, battling with Bruce. Again, and this time, the post saves her, and Bruce comes up with it.
Would have loved Steph Wood there just to have posted up. I know she was in the super shot zone. So we see Sasha Glasgow hit the deck there on the baseline. But close marking there from Shannon Eglin, ex-teammate. Bit of fire there in the shoulder of Sasha Glasgow at the moment.
We talk so much about the Fever attack, but the defensive end is really stepping up, and that's what has resulted in this 6-goal buffer. And Sharon, you've been focusing on that end of the court.
Oh, well, I've just been watching Simmons and Anstis, their work rate in defence out the top of that circle, and Bruce and Ariang, as we talked about earlier, the combination that they have, they're really putting that pressure on, and that's what's forcing those errors. That work out the front is making it so much easier for Bruce and Ariang in the back line.
Yeah, we heard there, Sharon, during the pre-game chat with Dan Ryan and Verity Simmons, that work rate across the court for the 7 players is so important.
Wood quickly into the pocket for Sherian. Conan's trying to find space behind, and does. Nicely weighted pass.
Sunshine Coast Lightning aren't looking interested in the super shot at all at the moment. We saw in the first quarter against the Magpies last week, they hit 4 from 5, but really pushed that scoreline out.
In the 2. Contact.
That's a painful one for the Lightning. Glasgow picks up the super shot. She knows how to do it. The 25-year-old really growing in her 3rd season at the Fever. And now it's suddenly 8 goals. And we know how hard it is to claw back against the Fever. Have to stay in it from the beginning.
Under all sorts of defensive pressure down there wasn't Conan Wilder. She just was able to finish off that shot.
14 goals already, and there is the Harvey Norman replay. Beautiful hands and a great finish. 14 goals already for Janelle Fowler. She has scored 130 goals in her last 2 games against the Lightning, and she is on track for the 60 she needs to break the 5,000 at the moment. And perfect 15 from 15. Conan out hunting again.
As Sharon said, just the Fever doing a massive amount of defensive work on the outside of the circle. First super shot for the Lightning.
Looks good out of the hands, and an important one to take the Lightning a little bit closer. The Suncorp super shot. Dehaney nearly picking one up there. Glasgow looks to return fire, and she will. Did not get greeted with the applause that she would have hoped for that shot. 21-13, still 8, running out of time, 6 seconds, and Sherian throws it out of play. The clock's going to beat the Fever back down the court. And there is the opening quarter in the books, 21-13. So a little flat spot in the middle of that quarter was enough to see the Fever streak away with it. Big smiles from Fowler, not so much from Reynolds. And we will be back with plenty more straight after this break. A big one here in the Sunshine Coast.
And welcome back to Origin Energy quarter time break, where the Fever are leading by 8 goals against the Lightning. Listening into the Lightning huddle, Coach Belinda Reynolds wants her players to keep working strong one-on-one defence. She had a word with Annie Miller talking about Jess Anstis, just how tight she's been on her. She wants her to really find the body and come off to find her space. So let's see whether the Lightning can do that. Kira, what did you hear in the Fever huddle?
Yes, Sharon, Dan Ryan very impressed with his Fever team. He said to them the benchmark has now been set, and it's up to them to keep this intensity in defence. He wants them to shut down that middle corridor, as we saw in the first quarter, pushing the Lightning feeders into wide pockets. I found that she went straight over to Sunday Ariane and gave her a big pat on the back for her grinding work. He wants her to stick tight one-on-one until the ball gets to the edge of the circle when she can work with Courtney. So really direct messaging from Dan Ryan, which I think we've all enjoyed from home, just how close and involved he is during the game.
Great insight, both of you. Thank you for that. As Origin Energy quarter time finishes and the second quarter begins with a tip from Dehaney. Not enough to stop the Fever from opening the scoring. One change back, I guess you would say. Carla Pretorius back on court. That experiment is over. Apart from that, the team's unchanged. And the score, well, a little bit worse. 9 goals, but the Lightning with the ball in hand and knowing a fast start imperative here in the second quarter. And of course, there's going to be netball all afternoon with the Thunderbirds and the Magpies coming up straight after this from Adelaide, and then pivot on tonight with Joe Harton on, as we can find out why she decided to give up the international game. Dehaney forward, not quite with the time, and Glasgow lets it go, gets the call.
Just missed the timing there, Katie, and Dehaney just didn't get the right angle to come out and have a crack at that ball, but you know, she's out there having a go, and that's what Belinda Reynolds will want. Interesting about that change for Shannon Eglin, whether or not Coach Belinda Reynolds is wanting her to come on in the super shot time to shut down Sasha Glasgow for those 5 minutes.
Well, up until the last play of the game, or the second last play of the game, she only had 1 attempt, so that's probably, she really plays, she's stuck on Sasha Glasgow.
It was a shutdown role, yeah, absolutely.
Pretorius plays the body a little bit more, and I guess maybe we might see her again in about 8 minutes' time. Let's find out. Anstis. Fowler, a long way from home.
Just needed a call there from her teammates behind Mahalia Cassidy. She was in the right spot. She just didn't know that Fowler was right behind her.
All alone at the back in the end. The Lightning hustling, but not quite there yet.
Just not much talk on court for the Sunshine Coast Lightning at the moment. They're pretty quiet. They're working individually. I'd love to see them more committed to this team work in terms of talking in defence.
Tip out from ATN. Wood, top of the circle, takes the step. They've really got to make sure this sticks properly when you've got the tall timber of Bruce and Ariang. Eventually, nice movement, and the front space goes to Wood, who leaves it short, and there's a dash for the ball, and Ez just wins it. Nothing falling the way. Well, I say that. Tried to say nothing falling the way of the Lightning before Bruce coughs it up.
Stephanie was just under immense pressure from Courtney Bruce's overhand defence on the shot. She just put her off there twice. She's got the ball back here for her team.
Needs that one to go in. Harvey Norman replay, and Bruce tipped it. Ez just won the race. And those little plays, we always say death from 1,000 cuts. The cuts are going the other way. At the moment, for the most part, Charles dashes into the pocket, high, just over the outstretched fingers of Dehaney, which is no mean feat. We'll have a look at the Nissan net points, and unsurprisingly, there are 5 FIFA players in the top 5. Fowler, Teague, Neal, Simmons, Glasgow and Bruce, all over 20-odd. For the Sunshine Coast Lightning, it's Wood and Miller leading in 16.5 quiet times for the Lightning.
Not only are they doing the work on the defensive, but in attack, we've got 7 defenders and 7 attackers on court for the Fever, so a full court defensive effort from their team today.
25-17, 8 as it was at the corner, and the turnover. Wood telegraphs that one. Now it's time to turn that in to a goal, and again on the step back, Conan lets it go. And the crowd enjoying that. Centre pass received. Can they go back-to-back to get back in this one?
Middle corridor just opened up there for Cara Conan, and Carla Pretorius was able to find that feed amongst all those green dresses. Unbelievable.
There does seem to be about 11 green dresses out there at the moment.
Running a really expansive box there, trying to force it wide and shut down that middle corridor. They're doing a great job of space marking as we see a turnover there created by a held ball.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts the Lightning. Ariang, I haven't mentioned her yet, but she's been winning the plaudits from Dan Ryan, and fair enough, especially in super shot period. The defensive duo really stepped up, and Teague Neal lets it go, knowing the Fowler will do the job. Eight it was at quarter time, still 8, 5 goals apiece in the second quarter. Both teams have had little advantages, but haven't been able to turn it into a gap. Oh, and just stays in. Not many people will be able to pick that one up, and Conan does, and there's 3 turnovers, 4 turnovers, and eventually out of court the ball goes, and Miller will restart.
The challenge now for the Lightning is that the Fever have identified that Cara Conan likes to come out on that long drive. They need to be smart, use their fakes, and get Courtney Bruce. As we see here, she was well and truly on top there, but just fumbled the ball right over the sideline. She's so close there.
Such high pace this game. Haven't had an HCF tactical timeout yet either, so these teams both putting in a big shift over the last 22 minutes of netball, and the pace is not slowing down yet.
And across the season, Will, these 2 teams pull the most timeouts, so this is a bit of a change for these players having to work it out on their own. As we see a good pull in there from Cara Conan under a pretty strong physical pressure from Courtney Bruce.
Well, such is the intensity, man. It seems to have just rocketed past. Here comes the Harvey Norman replay, and again Conan's forced to stretch to her full capacity. Luckily, she's 190 centimetres tall. Used all of that. So it was around this time in the last quarter when the sort of seesaw tipped firmly in the favour of the Fever. It's very much a seesaw now, and it's almost like they heard me. HCF tactical timeout comes for the Lightning. So we will listen in to what Belinda Reynolds has to say to her charges.
Good job, guys. You're in the grind. Yes? Well done. In defence, I reckon we go out there and we start the 2. Yes? So, yeah, all on it. Yes? Okay, over the line. And then locate. We want to send it back. Be disciplined on the line till you keep in the pressure. Yes? On our attack, give the little one and go again. Clear the transverse lines, remember. Get our hips around so we can make those short chip, chip, chip. But still keep your eyes down. Do your prelim work and punch forward. Yeah, yep. And then just tempo on the edge. That last one where you waited for courts and placed nicely, really, really good. Nice tall hands, but what's next? Ready to go. I want them off, I want them kept off circle edge, yes? 1-2, back to 1-1. Yeah.
Let's go, embrace the grind.
1-2. 1-2.
A really smart change I think, from Belinda Reynolds. She's bringing Shannon Eglin back on court in the wing defence position. They need to be able to shut down this centre court domination from the Fever.
This time, though, Pretorius remains on court, and listening in over at the Fever was Sharon Finnan-White. Sharon, what'd you hear?
Yeah, well, Coach Dan Ryan went straight to his attack end, had a word with Simmons and ATN and also Glasgow. He was really impressed and happy with their attack and the depth that they're getting on court because, he said that they're actually drawing their play, drawing the defenders, so they're just opening that space up.
Thanks, Sharon. ATN, obviously, Alice Teague-Neal, who was our Telstra player to watch in the pre-show. And there she is with the ball in hand right now. Hands it off to Glasgow over the top to the greatest target in probably the history of netball.
Alice Teague-Neal going up against her second wing defence. So for a wing attack, well, that is a huge, feather in her cap to have her player taken off, and now the Lightning are trying another combination to shut her down.
Darian and Conan. Bruce doesn't like it, but when does she like it?
Well, the facial expressions kind of give away all the emotions there for Courtney Bruce.
Need to work on the game face a bit.
Got the eyebrows done, so she looks fierce.
Back and forth, Ariang and Fowler.
Much better defensive pressure from the Firebirds there. The introduction of Shannon Eglin just in that shutdown role is really going to create some ball, I believe, for Katie Antahaney and Carla Pretorius.
A minute to go till the power 5. And we should see a couple of Steph Wood attempts coming up in the shadows of half-time.
Just looking a little nervous there, the Sunshine Coast Lightning in their down-court play.
Oh, the miss, and Ariane comes up with it. We almost start talking automatically when Conan shoots from there. Sorry, go on. I was not expecting that.
No, it sort of leads to what I was saying, Will. When Cara Conan can't get that second phase receive on that ball on the outside, she struggles to get back under the post, and we see there she's just a bit out of sorts, and a really close shot was missed.
Can't afford to be even slightly out of sorts against this team. They will give you no quarter, and now we are out to 10, 32, 22, 5:22 in the half to go. And Janelle Fowler still leading everyone in this and net points.
Great pick up there from Sherry, and that's what the Lightning need. Their centre court players to come up with some ball and finish it off.
Ball swinging from side to side and in, threading the needle. That's the thread the needle feed.
We heard Belinda Reynolds say to Laura Sherian as we see a HCF timeout called by the Fever team. Coach Belinda Reynolds talked about Sherian being patient with the ball, and she was there and got the ball to Cara Conan under the post.
This time we will listen in to the super coach, Dan Ryan.
I'm going to put Jess and Kim in there for a sec, so just for 5. Going to go into centre. All right. So defenders just come in for a quick set. You guys stay in your tasks of one-on-one, right? So just real aggressive hustle for front position. Yeah. All right, Jess and Kimbo, I want you guys to be really clear together as a pair what you want to run. So either one-on-one smothering with big hands pressure to protect our circle, or if we want to isolate, we're going to be really dynamic and active across the front of the circle, all right? And if we are in that hedging mode, let's have a look at some ball and bring some great energy in there, all right? Let's go for it. Yeah. Remembering too, jumping wall when wall is there to be jumped. Right? Really important, okay? Good. All right, keep that work rate up, all right? Nice composure, real aggressive on every turn and every drive. Great timing on your release, fantastic, brilliant, all right? Okay, hands in, guys. All right. Okay, Kimmy coming into the court. Let's bring some real energy out of Kimmy for the next 5 minutes and really lock in to upping our hustle in this super shot period, all right? So we've got an aggressive mindset in an attack. We make smart decisions, but we are all hands on deck defensively. Let's go.
As we hear Dan Ryan there speak to his team, the change here of Jess Anster stepping into the centre as a defensive role, I think, goes to say that Laura Sherian has had a good start to the second quarter and they want to shut her down. We see Kim Jenner take the position of wing defence and she'll be looking to turn over some ball for her team. Sharon, what did you hear on the Sunshine Coast Lightning side of the bench?
Kira, Belinda Reynolds was just talking about talking to the defenders, asking for them not to give any second shots to Fowler or Glasgow. And also they've identified that obviously Conan's getting double defended at times by Bruce and Ariang, so just to be patient on the feeds going in.
Sharon, was there any discussion about the super shot at all?
No, not at that time, Kira, there wasn't.
Back at 8 with 4 minutes to go in the half. And let's see what changes at the back. Kim Jenner brings, hasn't played for a couple of weeks. Jenner didn't play a role, as neither did Emma Kosh last week. Rudy Ellis did play somewhat off the bench, but Dan Ryan doesn't rush to the bench unless there's a solid tactic behind it.
We've seen this lineup change with Jess Anster stepping into the centre, and he's discussed that being a defensive move. He wants Jess in there to be in a shutdown role, being a wing defence. So she brings all those assets that a defender brings in that role as centre. So for mine, this is a closed down role. Keep Sherian out of the game and limit her usages of the ball. We're seeing it's freeing up here for Annie Miller. She's got quite a bit of space there on the edge of the circle.
Super shot, high arc, left it short, and Jenner picks up the ball, and those ones, it's always a risk. Go for the 2 points, lead possession, then things can blow out badly if you're not accurate. See back here, just looking at how many diamonds are out on court. It's actually quite incredible how many international players are in this game.
Littered with diamonds, these two teams.
More diamonds than a night out with Kira Tromp. Not that I've ever had one, but what I imagine when I get invited to one, plenty of sparkle.
I'll have to have a chat to my husband about that one.
He's in the crowd, aren't there? I've noticed that he's in the nosebleed seat, so well done on shelling out for the big money tickets.
That's it.
Fowler under the post, nails another one. That is goal number 30 in the half.
As we see there, Stacey Marankovic, she's checking on all her diamonds. Looking very serious up there. Great touch there by Jess Ansters.
Even in the last 10 goals, you think of level pegging, always the Fever have got 1 or 2 extra in there. And that's why it's still at 9. It's come back into 8 and 9 and kind of hovered around that gap for the last quarter of netball, and straight out of the hands. Conan knew that was short. Wood hits the deck. She's okay.
She wasn't happy with that one. I think she wasn't really given room to land. I think she's having a bit of a word there. We'll see. Just a clipping of the feet there with Courtney Bruce. She seems to do that a lot. Great pick up from Annie Miller. An unsung hero in this team.
You say that, but she's becoming extremely sung. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, she's just growing in confidence from game to game.
Her work rate off the centre pass is second to none. She's even with Steph Wood off the centre pass. 103 centre pass received going into this game. So she's doing her job, playing her role for the team.
Harvey Norman replay, and Miller saw it coming, got in front of Kim Jenner. But Miller, you talk about her importance on the feed to these two diamond shooters. She was off for 12 minutes at the back end of the game against the Magpies on Tuesday. They scored 5 goals in 12 minutes. And some of that might be foot off the gas stuff because they were, 15 goals for the good. But there's something to be said there for the combination between her and the shooting circle for the Lightning.
Absolutely. Her connection between the 3 positions down there is imperative. And, anytime you bring a new player onto the team, onto the court, it's going to have an effect. One stat for mine that's standing out at the moment, the centre pass to goal rate for the Sunshine Coast Lightning sitting at 67% as we see another missed super shot there from Steph Wood.
Oh, they're the key moments in this game we'll look back on if indeed the Fever do end up running away with it.
Just keeping in touch here, the Sunshine Coast Lightning only down by the 11 goals at the moment, but you can feel the super shots for the Fever just around the corner as we see Sasha trying to get into position here for a super shot.
Do you need to, though?
No,
I mean, you can't go to it unless you have to go to it. And if you've got Fowler there with an almost guaranteed 1 point and you're up by 12, there's really no need, especially if they're not dropping down the other end.
Yeah, you can identify there that, a goal is better than a missed shot and a rebound for the Fever, and they're happy to go to the post if Janelle's in good position.
Having said that, they'll probably end up with a rebound anyway, even if they do go for the super shot. So
that's what makes them so strong and hard to beat.
It does indeed, and there is the half, and it was 8 at quarter time. Right now it is 13, and the writing, well, it's not on the wall yet for the Lightning, but it has been penciled in. The Fever look in red-hot form out there at the moment, and there's going to be some questions asked from Belinda Reynolds and her Chargers if they're going to find a way to claw back into this one. But the Fever look very, very strong indeed. We're going to head down now to Sharon Finnen-White, and it's been a tough outing so far for Cara Kona. Sharon?
Thanks, Will. Cara, not the start the Lightning would have liked after a strong win last week. How does it feel out there?
Yeah, pretty awful, to be honest. Yeah, it's not a great brand of netty that we're playing. We're just not treasuring the ball. Me personally, I'm not strong enough on the take. So, yeah, I think we'll have a bit of a look in the change rooms, how we can work the ball a bit quicker to expose their defence in the second half.
What do you think your coach Belinda will be asking from the team in that change room?
Probably just a bit of energy. Like, we're just looking really flat out there. So it's a bit typical of us to go within ourselves. So probably standing up and using a bit of voice.
All right, well, all the best for that second half.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, there you go. That is the vibe. 39-26. The halftime show is next. We are going to be wrapping up everything that happened in the first half. And then, of course, straight off the back of that, it is the Thunderbirds off that big win against the Fever up against the Magpies. And there is the shot that broke the Fever's hearts. And that was the 4th from Eleanor Cardwell that showed that the Fever could be beaten. Can they go back-to-back up against the Magpies off that short turnaround? We'll find out. We'll be back. It was a tough couple of quarters for the Sunshine Coast Lightning. They were hanging in there in the early doors, but a good period from the West Coast Fever have all but shut the door on the Lightning, and you can't expect that the Fever will allow them back through that door at any point in the next 2 quarters, such as the quality of the West Coast side. But all is not lost. That Sunshine Coast Lightning team is absolutely littered with stars, and if a couple of them can step up to the mark, we could see an absolute classic. Will McCloy alongside Kira Tromp and Sharon Finnen-White. We've just enjoyed a fantastic 2 quarters of netball. And let's talk the Fever right now. We talk a lot about their attacking end, but their defence was what allowed them to build that gap in the middle of the opening quarter.
I think the word that stands out for me that we heard during the pre-game was work rate. Every player on that court was playing their role and creating the turnover for their players at the back. They were on everything, defensively strong and not penalised. So very impressive from the Fever.
Courtney Bruce was up and about, deflections early, and she worked herself into the game. She almost works herself into the game by getting upset about things. She plays better when she's a bit annoyed, a bit angry, and Sunday Ariang just went about her business, especially in the super shot period. Really shut down the back of court well for the Fever, shut down the front court for the Lightning.
Absolutely. Well, like Sunday Ariang is all over the place tonight. For me, she's been best on court so far. So, but just, yeah, what they're doing, they're hedging, they're confusing space, their one-on-one is really tight, and they're just shutting down that space for the attack line.
Now, up the other end, obviously, when you make those gains at the back of court, you like to see them honoured, and Janelle Fowler is on, I think, 30 from 30. Sasha Glasgow's had a harder time of it than normal, and that's because of some, I suppose, astute coaching from Belinda Reynolds, but Janelle Fowler does Janelle things, and that's what happens.
Yeah, she's always there for the Fever team. She's so strong under the post, and her ability to be able to finish off really breaks the heart of the Lightning defence, and they haven't been able to create a single turnover or deflection for the game so far.
Now, that is an incredible stat, coming from a person who has a string of incredible stats, apparently the stat queen. It's been tough for Cara Conan out there. She's been double-teamed a few times, and Steph Wood is the X factor in this game. If she turns it on, she can turn it around. I think she's going to have to start nailing those long-range shots, but she has been a little bit off.
Yeah, well, she's having to work extra hard because of that defensive pressure that Bruce and Aring are putting on them in that circle and outside the circle as well. So obviously having that extra work is putting her off her shot, because we don't normally see Steph miss this many goals in one half.
Is she the X factor, the person that can blow this game wide open, or at least bring them back into it?
Absolutely. She's the captain of this team. You could see her getting frustrated with herself. And for mine, the interview that Sharon did with Cara Conan really highlighted the fact that they're aware that they're not playing great netty. And so for mine, the improvement is just across the board as a team, the lift the work rate and get talking. They're pretty quiet and a bit flat. That could have a lot to do with the 5-day turnaround. We may see a totally different team take the court in the second half.
This will be the ladder if it finishes with the Fever in front. So the live ladder as it stands, and it'll be 6 points clear the Fever, which is a nice little bit of breathing space from 3 teams who are all jammed up there in the top 4. So the Swifts and Vixens will be up there if indeed. And of course, the Thunderbirds have a game in hand, so we can't write off the fact that that's going to happen. It's going to happen straight after this. But nice, even if it's 6 points just for a little bit, that's good.
Well, I think the Fever will be wanting to put more points on the board and improve their percentage. So I believe Dan Ryan will be in the change rooms right now asking for his team to lift and to push through and finish this game off strong. All
right, not too long until we get back into the action. The halftime show is nearly done. And the question, though, is now, why is netball important to you, and what does the game mean to you? It means to all of us different things, but brought to you by Suncorp, we'd like to submit your entry, what it means to you in 50 words or less, along with a video or an image of you and your club, to foxsports.com.au/Suncorp. We all know how to use a QR code now, unfortunately, so you can scan that code that was just on your screen for a chance to win a family membership to the Suncorp Super Netball Club of your choice for the 2024 season. And here is Alyssa Reed's entry as an example. Netball is extremely important to her because it helps her make new friends, keeps her fit, and she absolutely loves meeting awesome people all the time, like Maddie Proud and Sophie Dwyer, for example. So, Alyssa, that was very, very lucky indeed. Of course, the full second half coming up after this one as we have a look inside the sheds. Great access for you on Fox Sports. Plenty of work to be done for the Lightning as they continue to try and claw it back against the Fever. Then, of course, it's the Thunderbirds and the Magpies. And then it's Pivot wrapping up a big round 7. And the special guest on Pivot tonight is Jo Harton, who's just given up her international career to continue playing, of course, for the Giants. Do not miss that one. It is a few hours of high-quality netball here on Fox Netball. Welcome back to UniSC Stadium, where there is a mountain to climb for the Sunshine Coast Lightning, but with 2 premierships since they started in 2017 and a team full of stars, if they can climb that, if anyone can climb that mountain, they certainly can. And well, they're getting up and about for this one, led by Steph Wood. If we look back here, the discussion between Courtney Bruce and the umpires. Not the first one, I would wager, but the Diamonds goalkeeper definitely gets any little advantage that she can.
Yeah, well, you see the captain there is the only person who's allowed to approach the umpire, so she's going to get some clarification around that contact or obstruction that's coming when she's having a go at the ball. So outside arm was what the umpire said, which is, you know, what you need to do to get those penalties down.
One thing we're blessed with here at Fox Netball is incredible access to the teams. Not only do we see some shots from inside the sheds, there is Belinda Reynolds about to answer our question. She's nervously sitting there with the, very naturally with the microphone in hand. Belinda, what was said during that halftime break? You've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, we do. Look, we thought we gave Fever too much respect in their our attack line, and we weren't letting the ball go, getting our ball speed, which has been so good for us in the last couple of games. And I thought they were owning the middle of the court, so we need to punch through the middle of the court this half.
Belinda, talk us through the changes here you've got on court to start the third quarter.
Yeah, obviously we need a win ball, so we've gone defensive heavy in the mid-court. So Shannon and Halsey have ability to win ball for us, so just looking at that. And Chesy's been feeding the goalers nicely, so putting her into wing attack.
One of the areas that I can see for improvement is that centre pass to goal gain rate there. It's only sitting at 65%. What's your thoughts around that off the centre pass?
Yeah, again, I thought that Fever were only in the middle of the court, so I think Halsey will get us great depth. She punches through, so hopefully
that has a result for us in the second half.
Just one question. Oh, great pick up there. We'll be happy with that one,
Yes.
Belinda. What's your identifying that, you know, Courtney Bruce is picking up and coming out on Cara on that second phase receive? Have you had a word to her about maybe mixing that up?
Yeah, she just needs to change her lines and use her change of direction. So at the moment, that was another straight lead. So we'll get on top of her there and, yeah, just mixing up her starting positions as well.
Belinda, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Will. Thanks, Kira.
Good start early on from the Lightning, back at 11.
A great defensive pickup, which is something they really have been struggling with today. So very happy, Belinda Reynolds there, I think, when that intercept was taken.
Need 6 to 10 more of them, and we'll be firing.
Just hesitating on the shot there, Steph. You can see she's frustrated with herself, but the defence over the shot is getting into her head. So we see the flick off there. Deep breath from her as she walks back to the centre.
Wealth of experience, though. Been in this position many a time, so...
Absolutely. She's a smart and very strong player and is able to, you know, critically analyse herself in the game. So she'll be thinking now what her next move is. You'll see her often check the scoreboard. One of the only players I see. And
Dehaney goes up twice and can't make it stick.
So close.
Oh, the smile. That might just be enough to spark her, though, in this quarter. Getting close twice now. Nice work up court there, middle channel, straight to Conan, and it's a 3-0 start.
Just found the body there. Cara Conan did a great job to protect the space in front of her.
The start the Lightning would have wanted. Fowler from a bit further out than usual. No mistake. 35 of 35. Regular as clockwork, isn't it? Sherry and Wood. Conan, they're moving. Great little interplay between Sherry and Conan. No hesitation, and another one.
Lovely double play there from Cara Conan. The thing that looked so good there was the fake movement from Sherry to get Courtney Bruce moving. As we just see another tip not pulling the way of the Sunshine Coast Lightning. And Janelle Fowler able to come up and mop up the scraps with the rebound and finish off with the shot. Great ball movement there from Steph Wood. She just created the momentum by that quick double play, opened up the space. And lovely feed over, pinpoint there from Laura Sherian in the wing attack. She'll have a chance now to take a deep breath in her 100th game. Sitting back in wing attack gives her more recovery. Just an uncharacteristic miss under the post again from Cara Conan.
Wood sits out and Cassidy comes in, and can they keep it? Yes, they can.
And there's the reason that switch was made in the centre, a more defensive mid-court setup for that exact reason. Pick up ball for her team and then capitalise on it.
The Lightning are back, the crowd is back, Steph Wood nails one, and maybe we have a game on our hands.
Just a bit too easy for mine off the centre pass there for the Fever. There was no defensive pressure on Alice Teague-Neal. She was loose and was able to find heaps of space.
Wood, top of circle, Cassidy straight in, front space for Conan. And Cara Conan with only her 21st goal.
Better defensive pressure there from the Lightning, forcing the ball back. And good challenge, just not using her outside arm there, Shannon Eglin. She was in the right position. So hard as a defender not just to stick your arm out there when you can see the ball so close. Just called on the obstruction there for Katie Ann Dehaney. We're seeing a lot more penalties and obstructions called at that end of the court, so an adjustment really does need to be made by the Sunshine Coast Lightning to keep themselves in play.
To Conan again, and another one in. You'll see that the Lightning players, you can see there on screen, are wearing purple. They're wearing purple tape on their dress for Domestic Violence Awareness, because May is Domestic and Family Violence Prevention Month, which the Lightning are partnering with their sponsor, the Sunshine Coast Regional Council, to get behind and support. And another little tip there. And still hovering around the 10-goal mark. The Harvey Norman replay to Haley out again. And you're enjoying, well, we're enjoying the defence of the Lightning. Sharon, you're enjoying the attack end too?
Yeah, well, I'm actually enjoying what the mid-court are doing in faking the ball one way to draw the Fever defenders out. I think that's what's working for them at the moment, just sucking in the defenders and then opening up that space.
100%. Sharon, Anstis now, transverse line, plenty of space out there as they zigzag their way down court to Janelle Fowler.
You almost feel like Sunshine Coast Lightning, as we see Fowler leading the Nissan net points there at 88, they really need to be able to shut that ball down before it even gets into there. So that's intense work rate, arms over pressure, trying to force the ball wide so that they can have a crack before it gets to Fowler under the post.
Cherian in the 100th game in the blue and yellow dress. Restarts play again. There she is, circle edge, waiting, looking, deciding to go back. Big Neal doesn't like it.
Face gouge from Courtney Bruce there.
Yeah, Conan will know she's been in the game tonight.
She's been on the floor a fair bit. This is the challenge for Cara Conan. When she starts to get that physical pressure, you can see her shoulders drop and she almost crouches or sort of leans over. She really needs to stand up tall and strong, shoulders back. We see a great, on the Harvey Norman replay, Courtney Bruce is coming over the top there and called for the contact. The classic Cara Pretorius, her hands pinned to her dress, but really elbowing in there to Sasha Glasgow, not letting her back in. Great pull there from Janelle Fowler. Pinpoint feed from Verity Simmons on the outside.
Indeed. Just a very practiced. Conan out, looks back again. Every possession crucial already, halfway through the third quarter. Chariot high, nice split.
Steph Wood doing an amazing job there just to sweep through the circle. She kept Sunday Arian busy, which meant she couldn't just sag off and do the 2-on-1 on Cara Conan under the post. Lots of talk out the front from Shannon Eglin. She's really lifted that work rate on the outside of the circle. I think that's brought a lot more impact and intensity to the defence end of the Lightning. Running a wall defence there, the West Coast Fever jumping the line, trying to shut down that middle corridor, but it's opened up down to Steph Wood in the pocket here. We heard Dan Ryan during the break just talking to his defenders about them owning the defensive structure. And as a unit and a team, you know, to have that ability to be able to change your defensive styles on court in the moment shows how connected this team is and their ability to adjust without the coaches, you know, impact. And they're so well versed in their game plan that it's almost like second nature for these West Coast players.
Yeah, a lot of long-time players in this Fever lineup and doesn't head to the bench very often. As, speaking of heading to the bench, we have a change. Ash Irvin out on court in the goalkeeper bib for the Lightning.
Great take there from Cara Conan. Yeah, we're seeing Paddy Anderhaney go to the bench, just not having the impact that she would be used to, sitting on 3.5 net points. 12 penalties, 2 deflections, but no intercepts. So looking for a change there.
The HCF tactical timeout, and we get to listen into Dan Ryan, who's always extremely clear and positive with his charges.
With me for a quick sec, back four. All right, just in this last 5 minutes, I want you to cancel your wall. We're doing too much of it because we're getting exposed on depth on second phase, all right? So full responsibility, 2v1 you two or 1v1, and you're taking care of Steph one-on-one, all right? So go back into this grinding mentality Own player, own job. Hotspot pressure, push them back up the court, all right? So they're under a bit of pressure to have to go for twos, etc. Let's put the pressure on them without direct opposition, all right? So no sitting in space in this one. Grind it out, really important, okay? Just come into the attack one quickly. Really important, if your teammate is free and available, let's let that ball go in first, second, all right? No room for hesitation. Just keep moving the ball, keep moving the ball, keep moving the ball, all right? That's us at our best, really important, okay? Good work. Yeah. All right, everybody in, hands in, guys.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Big 5 minutes for us. Everybody defensively is upping the hustle, all right, and the work rate and attack for multiple options and to keep the ball pumping out of our hands, all right? Let's not give them a sniff hitting into three-quarter time. Take ownership. Let's go.
Fever 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
The Lightning winning this quarter 13-10 and about to look to rain down super shots on the Fever to try and get back into this one. But the Fever with the ball in hand early as we tick down to the power 5. Fowler too far out for the shot, goes back again. Simmons waits and Irvin, the 19-year-old, has a huge job in front of her. Just gets thrown in there against Janelle Fowler.
As we heard Dan Ryan talk during the timeout there, Will, they're shut down on that wall. They've gone back to their one-on-one defence, the Fever. They want to grind out. As we see a hell ball created straight away, Dan Ryan's out of his chair, giving his charges a clap. Exactly what he was looking for.
Yeah, sticking hard to the one-on-one and making it hard for them. That's exactly what he asked for. So, they'll know they've made the coach happy immediately. Simmons. Teague Neal looking and finding Fowler, and we'll go back to 11 goals. So a couple of goals back-to-back for the Fever to start this one off, and the centre pass receive as well.
Scoring at 91% efficiency off their centre pass. Really, the Lightning are finding it hard to shut them down. They're finding really easy space on the top of the circle and then also just being able to find Janelle under the post.
45 goals, so 15 shy. Fowler of the 5,000 mark in her career. Wood from deep and nails the Suncorp super shot. So $100 goes to the Confident Girls Foundation, thanks to Suncorp as principal partner of Netball Australia.
I think we're just going to see Steph Wood here just lift that lid off the super shot. She's got to take a risk, she's got to be brave, and I think that's the way the Lightning are going to be able to create some pressure.
Glasgow returns fire with her own Suncorp super shot.
The last down court play was shut down with a hell ball, so it's going to take 2, 3, 4 efforts for the Sunshine Coast Lightning here to beat this one-on-one defence. The Fever very good at shutting down the space and not giving up the penalty.
Forced to stay patient, hovering around that transverse line, finally make it to circle edge, go high, and Bruce does her best.
You can see Steph, she was there in that two-point super shot area. She wanted the ball back. She's aware that this is the time that the team needs to be able to put those two-point shots up.
Lightning still leading scorer in this quarter up until this exact moment when goal number 46 goes in for Fowler. And we're level pegging for the quarter score, which means we're still at 13s with 2:50 left. So a super shot each.
No love lost.
Teams, yeah.
No love lost here between Eglin and Sasha Glasgow. They've been going at it all afternoon.
Wood back in the zone again. Important goal this one. The crowd love it, and why not? 11, and the defensive pressure needs to come into play here.
They really need a turnover here, the Lightning. All 7 players need to be on their game. Any loose ball needs to be theirs if they're going to pull this score back. Almost a step there from Sasha Glasgow.
Super shot comes back again, this time short, and Irvin comes up with it.
They didn't give up the penalty there. They kept their strong hands over, forced her to make a shot, and it was a miss.
1:54 to go in this period of time. If you're new to Super Netball, the Power 5 is the period during which you can score a super shot, which has to be attempted from the white semicircle, which Wood is doing right now to good effect once again. And they are back within the 10. It's 9 goals, 90 seconds with a centre pass.
Definitely's got that look in her eyes. I'd be very worried if I was the Fever defensive end. She looks committed. She wants that super shot. Cara Conan, she's just putting up the one.
Momentum important going into half-time. 8 goals.
We heard Belinda Reynolds say she just wants to be in touch. We all know how loud the crowd here at UniSC Arena can get as the game gets closer.
Fowler turns, fronts up to Irvin, who doesn't take a backward step. And nails her 47th goal. Sherian, Cassidy in the zone. Conan wants to find her shooting partner instead. Nice 1-2 interplay, and they stay at 8. 40 seconds to go. Centre pass the Fever. High circle edge to Fowler. Brought the bench from the Sunshine Coast Lightning onto their feet. You can see right-hand side of screen. It's not often you see Annie Miller and Katie Anzahaney on the bench, especially in clutch periods of a game like this.
Goal defence and centre, you're still out of play. So next to the goal defence on this side.
From very deep and short, Fowler picking up the rebound, and Kira said it, that's what makes them so dangerous. 10 seconds to go, and down the court come the Lightning. They want another attempt, and they're going to attempt it through Wood, who'll have time, lets it go again, gets another one. That's 3 in a row for Steph Wood. High fives all round, three-quarter time, and the momentum has swung a little bit in the favour of the home side. Still plenty of work to do. And coming up, one more quarter of high-quality netball, and then it is the Thunderbirds up against the Magpies, and Bianca Chatfield will lead that team from Adelaide. And what a finish it was for the Thunderbirds to do the job against the Fever last week. What can they do against the Pies this week? We'll find out, but before that, a big quarter coming up.
And welcome back to the Origin Energy three-quarter time break, where the Lightning have made a comeback and now only trail by 7 goals against the Fever. Coach Dan Rowan spoke in the huddle about doing their own job. They want their own job mentality, do their own job first, and know when to pull out of any of those balls. In attack, he wants them to stay composed and poised, but still keep that aggression. Over to you, Kira.
Thanks, Sharon. I was down in the huddle where Belinda Reynolds was delivering a really positive message to her team. They're right in this game. She's looking for Ash Irvine to keep in front and have a crack at that ball. She said, you're only centimetres away. In attack, really happy with the work rate of Mahalia Cassidy, the defence work rate, and also her attack and feeds. One thing that was interesting during the break, we saw Courtney Bruce again go to the umpires and discuss that positioning, arm, and where she can contest the ball. Let's not forget that the end where Courtney Bruce is now is the most penalised end of the court. And we did hear Belinda Reynolds talk to her players about expecting to get the call. So whether or not Courtney is just trying to create a bit of doubt in the umpire's mind about whether she will call her for obstruction of contact or not. We'll wait and see, Will, what happens.
Great insight once again, and it was interesting to see Courtney Bruce down there, and she is a master of the mind games and getting those 50-50 calls, and that's what she's doing. Meanwhile, Steph Wood, smile on her face once again, enjoying the netball at the moment, and you can see why. Quarter 3, 24-18 off the back of a very good Power 5. They were shut down pretty comprehensively in the opening 2 quarters. But this time, Pretorius nearly gets a hand on one.
So close there from Carla Pretorius. She looks straight over to the bench. She knows how close she was on that one.
Not having the same kind of game as she enjoyed last week, Pretorius. I think there was a game there, was it last week or the week before, 120 missed net points. She's currently on 9. Yeah,
player MVP last week. Look, Sasha Glasgow is an elite goal attack, and she owns most goal defenders in the league at the moment, so a very tough opponent. A lot of respect has to be given to the game she's played today.
Sherian, meanwhile, leads all comers for the Lightning, 75.5, 19 assists, 28 feeds, 10 centre pass receives, picked up an intercept as well. So she's having a great 100th game.
Yeah, and we see that in that third quarter, getting up by 6, the Sunshine Coast Lightning, and Laura Sherian was a lot to do with that. Her ball speed and momentum was huge. There's a loose ball,
but it's Fowler that comes up with it, can't get it back in.
We both called it, Will. The loose ball, we both wanted to jump out of our seats and grab it.
Oh, speak for yourself, I'm happy here. I'm scared to go out there. It's much safer here behind the desk, and I have lollies. So there's the Harvey Norman replay. And if they can indeed capitalise on this possession, it'll be the closest the score has been since the end of the first quarter. I think if I can, yeah, it was late in the first quarter when the gap was at 6. It's at 6 again. It ballooned out to as much as 13.
The challenge for the Lightning here is to be able to finish this off with a shot. It's their own centre pass, but you can see the work rate of the Fever team is lifted. They realise this is a two in a row. They won't want to let this ball go through. We see contact there on the hip. The crowd is very happy about that call against Courtney Bruce. It seems her chat with the umpire hasn't changed her opinion on the game at the moment.
5 goals. We have a game on our hands here on Sunday Netball on Fox. And that's what we always like to see. The Fever, though, such an accomplished team and so calm, stay in their processes throughout. Circle edge, Anstis. Glasgow immediately lets go of it. And this will be goal number 50 from 50 for Fowler.
Carla Pretorius doing a great job just sitting really tight on Sasha Glasgow's hip there, not giving away the penalty. A really grinding effort from her. Great opening there. She just beat Courtney Bruce on the baseline. Beautiful open back to the post. Smart work from Cara Conan and just as good from Laura Sherian to feed it in.
No, just they've had a confidence boost somehow, and now the shots are dropping and the smiles are on faces, and lovely little interplay there. Teague Neal to Fowler, who picks up 51.
As we see the penalties there, the penalty count come up on screen, 38 also even. So as much as there's an interpretation down one end, it's even for both teams currently. Good pick up there from Courtney Bruce.
Yeah, turnover, Conan scooped it back in, straight to Bruce.
It's not
Let's
at all.
go, and Victorious to take an intercept from that close is absolutely elite work. Oh, no, a rolled ankle, I think. Crowd goes silent.
Foul or injury? Injury?
We know Shannon Eglin has suffered a knee injury in the past.
Oh, that
Injury.
is not good.
Injury. It's a contact.
But Eglin, and
And then can we
she's
wipe
getting
She's a
helped
really
up.
strong competitor. She'll know that that isn't good for her, but she wants to get off the court, get to the doctor. Really disappointing for Shannon there. Really hard to watch for her teammates, but they still have a job to do, and Shannon is a huge part of that.
Off the court and straight past the boss goes.
She's in great
Shannon
care
Eglin.
there of the doctor, Matt from the Lightning. He'll get her down into the rooms.
We'll get an update on that in the post show if we can for you. On Shannon Eglin.
We see Annie Miller be reintroduced. No loss there. She's had a chance to freshen up, fresh legs. The challenge now for the Lightning is to seamlessly move into this new combination, continue that work they've been doing.
Sometimes an injury like that, especially when you see a knee injury, which so often can end a season, and we sincerely hope that is obviously not the case. But it can galvanise a team at the back end of the game, or it can ruin a team's momentum. We'll just see which way the pendulum swings. 6-4 currently the quarter-time score. The Lightning over the Fever, who won 24-18 in the third quarter. And we're back at 5 goals. And another intercept here, and a solid super shot period. Could see the Lightning do exactly what the Thunderbirds did last week. Good. Sherian.
If there's one team in the competition who knows how to come out of adversity. It's the Sunshine Coast Lightning, losing their leadership member in Tara Hinchcliffe to a knee earlier in the year. They brought in the replacement player, Shannon Eglin, and unfortunately she's gone down with an injury, and we'll keep you up to date on where that's at.
You know, ever since August last year when the injury started raining down upon the team.
Riley Batchel as well. Yeah, it's disappointing for the team, and that's part of it, but here they are, still with an opportunity to be able to fight up against the top of the table Fever.
6 goals, 8:40 to go in this one. Of course, the Thunderbirds and the Magpies up next. Magpies with a lot of work to do if they can overcome the Thunderbirds, who are firming up as premiership contenders. Miller in the pocket.
Next to the goalkeeper. With the keeper.
Wood suddenly with the hot hand, and it's good to see Eaglin back on the bench. I don't see any ice or anything at the moment.
To be honest, you know, that's a really hard picture to see for mine. I think she knows deep down, having done an ACL herself, you know, we all hope it's not, but yeah, look, for mine, you know, Shannon's such a competitor and a hard worker. I really hope that it's good news for her.
It's the automatic thought to go to the ACL, but there's a myriad of different knee injuries that can result from a bend like that.
Yeah, that's it. Just that innocuous landing. Netball's such a tough sport on the joints, having to stop almost immediately once you...
I'm hearing that they're not going to check. There's a certain protocol checking whether the ACL is gone until she gets into the change room post-game, and if we can get a message out, we will, but we might actually hear from the team down in Adelaide, because we're going straight there after this one, and that's a lovely feed from Teague Nield into Fowler.
Timeout, Lightning.
An HCF timeout, and it's been a frenetic 7-minute or 8-minute period. And now the question is how and what lineups for both teams will they employ as this one closes out here on the Sunshine Coast. Let's listen in to Belinda Reynolds.
Coming back in. Ash, great job. Good job, really good job. All right, this is the patch before the 5-minute that I want us to absolutely up our intensity on defence. Everyone is on their direct opponent. They're getting hands pressure on everything, and we're having a look at a fly. We need to take a risk and take a fly, but stay disciplined at the same time. When we get to the 2-point period, we're going it. We're attacking this contest. I don't care who it is, but just work it until you find it. Don't overplay it. Like, play to the one organically, come back out, alrighty? Let's up the intensity in our defence right now, though. Right now. And in attack, multiple options, get your hips around, use your fakes when you need to, okay? Come on, we got this.
Lightning on 2. 1, 2. Lightning!
That's what Belinda Reynolds had to say. Here is the RV Norman replay, and down goes Shannon Eaglin, and it doesn't look good. And Sharon, how did you see that one?
Yeah, I was just listening to Dan Ryan in that timeout. He wants Kim Jenner and Sunday Ariang to have their repeated efforts continuously happening. He spoke to Courtney Bruce. He really wants her to contest that outside ball. So anytime Conan comes out like she just is now, he wants her to actually go with her and be really aggressive in the super shot.
Thanks, Sharon. Let's see if they can deliver the Fever in the super shot period like they did in the first half. Tough one for Conan, off the knee, out of play, out of court, and a chance to go back to 7 goals for the Fever. Anstis. Nice drive to space from Teague Nield, and then crosses back in, and it's the Jamaicans up against each other, and Fowler goes to 57 at 100%.
As we see Alice Teague Nield find her 34th feed for the game, she's been outstanding, an unsung hero really for the Fever team. Her ability to find the edge of the circle and execute feeds time and time again for her team. She's been one of those players tonight who's been so hard to stop, one of about 7 on the court for the Fever.
Yeah, Teague Nield 89 missing net points, Fowler 130. We'll just give her the MVP for the season now. She's had 5. We'll give her another one.
I think there's a fair few other players out there, especially in the Fever team, that might be putting their hands up for that gong. A team littered with stars.
It is. Steph Wood doing those Steph Wood things, though, in this quarter. 7 goals. And we're very close to super shot period, the last one. Jenna back out on court.
Just mistimed that there, and then a face clash with Sasha Glasgow as they walk back into the court. Just an unlucky defensive obstruction call against Carla Pretorius. Had her caught right up in the middle of the centre court, leaving Katie Anderhaney having to hedge between 2 players. And we see Janelle finish off another shot there for a 59th shot at 100%.
So one more attempt and she'll make 5,000 attempts in Super Netball, and nearly the Fever come up with it. We're in the Power 5, which means we're going to see Steph Wood looking for ball.
A direction from the coach, Belinda Reynolds. We're going for it. We're going to be brave. They'll work it out till they find a 2-point position here for Steph Wood.
She hasn't missed one in about the last 8. That one's too long.
You just see the defensive pressure over the shot was really strong from Courtney Bruce and Sunday Arian. They didn't give up the obstruction, but enough work over the ball to unsettle Steph's rhythm and timing.
9 misses. See at the bottom of your screen. Steph Wood 21 from 26. Conan 34 from 37-ish. And that is 5,000 attempts in Super Netball for Janelle Fowler. And I would hasten to guess to say about 4,900 of them were successful.
What are the chances, Will, that she knows?
She knows how many.
Yeah. Not many. Not at all.
Not many misses.
No, not many misses at all for Janelle
Well,
Fowler.
right now, she's 59 from 59 and about to be 60 from 60. And it's very hard to beat teams with someone shooting 60 from 60.
That's right. They've tried everything tonight, the Lightning. They've thrown out different combinations, but unable to unsettle the unstoppable Janelle Fowler. I call it the unenviable task of standing up against such a strong, powerful shooter. We see the ball's coming there, but just not in the super shot position, so they go back out to find Steph.
This one looks good and is good, and back at 8.
And that's what sets Steph Wood apart from every other player in the Australian Diamond. She's not scared to go back to the post after she's had a miss. She trusts her gut, she knows her ability, and she goes back to basics and techniques and is able to finish off with a super shot there for her team.
Fowler all by herself, and that's a product of the fact that the Lightning know that they have to stop it at the source. And we're going to see another ACF timeout from Belinda Reynolds, and she needs to find a way to score an immense amount of goals in a short period of time. We're going to listen in again, see how that plan is going to unfold.
All right, no one can sag off their player here. You need to be in their grill one-on-one because they will keep possession. They're in control of the game. We need to give them not an inch, all righty? Try and be clean in the contest so we're not out of play and have got stoppages. So we're all one-on-one searching for a first ball contest. If you're not in a first ball contest, you've got your hands pressure and you're working, dictating. In attack, I want us to play direct as we can. So get your hips around, go again. Give and goes, give and goes.
Probably lost them a little bit of width. So like I feel as though we're all trying to go in, force something long. Courtney comes as a fly. We hit Cara at the post and we go for a 2. Let's go for it. Let's go. You really need to do. Okay. 1, 2, Lightning! Let's go,
We'll see how this next 3 or so minutes plays out. I'm just thinking back, and I'm pretty sure that knee injury, the last ACL for England was on her left knee.
Correct.
And that was her right knee, and that's very much not what you want to see.
Absolutely, you're right, Will. You've got the stats there on the injury front. Yeah, unfortunately for Shannon Eglin, it's the other knee this time. I'm not sure if that's good or bad, but interestingly in that huddle, Steph with so much belief for her team. almost a basketball timeout, just about sucking up the time and really arresting the momentum and not letting these 2.5 minutes just slip by for the Lightning. How important will percentage be come the end of the season? You can't just roll over and give up on a game, even if you're not, able to win. You've got to keep that margin as close as possible.
Wood, step back under all sorts of pressure. Gets another attempt, this time free and easy. Not down though. Conan does the best in the rebound, but doesn't come off.
Just mistimed her jump there.
There's still been plenty to recommend.
Awesome intercept from Steph Wood. We talked at halftime, is the X Factor Steph Wood? Absolutely the X Factor Steph Wood. She gives herself a big clap.
Well done from Wood, and I was just going to say there's been plenty to recommend the Lightning over the course of this match, even if they do take the L.
Oh, absolutely. The Harvey Norman replay showed us there. Steph just did not want to give up that ball. She worked so hard. Belinda Reynolds said that every player in defence want to wear our players down. First ball contest. They want that all over the court.
Still hustling the home side, but the Fever are just a very strong unit.
I think we're seeing a few tired legs here from the Lightning just in defence. That 5-day turnaround, may become a factor now as we see the last few minutes play out.
Full credit to the Fever though. They've seen off some pretty serious challenges time and time again from the Lightning, and they've weathered all of them. Throw straight to Ariang, picks up an intercept. Jenna, as they keep hustling in defence.
Just a turnover there from Cara Conan. She's had 3 for the game. Just the timing of that turnover. There was a bit of momentum going the way of the Lightning and just gave up an easy ball to Sunday Arian.
The Fever, meanwhile, have halved their turnovers from the last game to this one, so a lot more precious with the ball.
Clinical with the ball, I'd say. Dan Ryan will be very happy with that stat.
30 seconds to go. Look at the shooting stats on Janelle Fowler. 64 from 64. She just keeps on delivering. And could this be 65? You almost don't want her to ruin her 100% record, and she doesn't. So an incredible effort from Fowler, who's nudging up towards 150 Nissan net points, which has got to be near the top made from anyone this season. 8 seconds left on the clock, and the Lightning finish with something. I think the clock's going to beat them all. Wood turns, and it's too late, and it doesn't matter anyway. And in the end, it was a seesawing encounter, but from midway point through the opening quarter, when the Fever pulled away, the Lightning couldn't do enough. They got within 5 midway through the 4th quarter, but that was where the run ended. And at the end of round 7, no matter what happens, the West Coast Fever will remain your ladder leaders, and the Sunshine Coast Lightning will be out of the top 4. So quickly, fortunes can change.
Yeah, absolutely, Will. You're right there. Just the too clinical in attack were the West Coast Fever. They used the ball so well. Their centre pass conversion rate up in the 90s. Look, really tough for the Sunshine Coast Lightning today. Obviously, having that injury to Shannon, as we see the players give her a hug. She's an ex-Fever player.
That's a happy face on Dan Ryan, and why not after an interesting week? There's plenty of strapping and ice on Eaglein, as you say. She's being consoled by all of her players. Let's have a look at the match summary, and the Fever shot at 95%, as you would expect. Penalties were quite even, turnovers quite even, possession quite even. In fact, everything was even, but they did the job at the right times.
Absolutely. They're just able to be, clinical and execute under pressure. They were scoring at 95% and 91% off their centre pass to goal rate, Will.
All right, we're going to head down now to Sharon with our player of the match. Sharon?
Thanks, Will. I have Jess Anstis here with me today, player of the match. Jess, congratulations on the win. It was a hard-fought win, but a great effort from you, both in attack and defence. How did it feel out there?
Yeah, it was pretty tough, to be honest, and we knew that Lightning would keep coming back, and we learnt a lot last week in terms of teams coming back at us, so yeah, we knew that we had to go hard in that last half in particular.
So what was it that went really well for you in that first half that went missing sort of a little bit in that second half?
I think just that continued work rate. It's hard to keep it up, but being able to continue on in the second half and just keep hustling hard.
Next week, you guys take on the Vixens, in Melbourne. Another road trip for you guys. Do you go back to Perth and then come back, or you're here for the week?
Yeah, no, we're heading back to Perth. It's the last of our road trip kind of thing. We've been away for the last 4 or 5 games, so we'll be excited to get that one done and then back to Perth for a couple of games.
Well done on the win today, and all the best for the rest of the season.
Thank you. Cheers.
Jess Anstons is your player of the match, and just because the Fever have put one in the books here on Sunday afternoon, that does not mean that the netball is finished, not by a long shot. Straight after this, the Battle of the Birds. It's the Thunderbirds. Big win over the Fever last week up against the Magpies, who had that tough 15-goal loss. They will have a mountain of work to do if they are going to unseat Eleanor Cardwell and the Pies. That's coming up next, but after this, we wrap it all up in the post-game show.